Yeah, what we doing now? It's Nisha's network, y'all.
It's Nisha's network, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's all about connecting, yeah,
connect the
let's go.
vibe.
It's Nisha's network, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all about connecting, yeah, let's go.
Connect and feel the vibe. Connections make you feel alive. We do this every day. Let's put your business on display. Network, let's heal and pray. It's our love, we here to stay. Trust in God, he'll lead the way. We on right now, no need to wait. Yeah, yeah. It's Nisha's network, yeah, yeah. It's all about connecting, yeah, let's go.
Well, hey, everybody. It has been a minute. It has been a minute. It has been a minute. That means life is really busy and the summer has almost gone. And we have been moving and shaking from traveling to working the recovery program for Heart Life Ministries to coaching and counseling and trying to enjoy a little bit of the summer. One of the best things about the summer is watching the kids absolutely enjoy themselves. And although I don't have little children, I have grandchildren. And I'm just grateful that I have an opportunity to enjoy and let them make you smile. Like when all the stress is there, you could just be like, you know what? Let me just go take a look at those little grandbabies. So that's such a blessing. But I'm glad to be back this evening. I'm glad to have some time to share with you. So if you are watching, I am asking you, since we haven't been on for a minute, to go ahead and share. Go ahead and share. Today we are talking about being beautifully blemished, and I'm going to bring my honorary sister on, none other than Mrs. Leanne Stuckey. Hi, Leanne.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Doing pretty good. Thank you for
Good.
having me.
Look, now let me just tell you all. Let me just let the record show. She has been on national television, okay? So we thank the Lord for Nisha's network and our community. But I just want to say the Lord has put all of this, of the goodness of what her giftings on blast globally. And to me, that is a gift. So if you all have not watched, we're going to have her to share with you where she has been and what channels she's been on or what broadcastings that she's been on and been able to share. But I just want to go ahead and allow you to introduce yourself to those who don't know you. And let me tell you, y'all should know her because she's global now. Okay. Let me just say that. She's not so small time. Okay. Listen here. Okay. And then Zoe got to be on there. So anyway, Leanne, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from, where you stay. Yeah.
All things. Yes. So I'm Leanne Stuckey. I am wife to Tori Stuckey. I have 4 children. My oldest is 12. My youngest is 6, and they're all 2 years apart. I am a full-time working at home, homeschooling mom, and just recently released my debut children's book, Beautifully Blemished, at the beginning of this year. So it's been fun. It's been amazing. It has taken me by surprise in a lot of ways. I've grown in so many ways, and it's a passion project. And I'm excited. I'm excited about what the reach it's already had and what's to come. So we'll be talking more about it, but just a quick introduction of myself. I am originally from LA, Los Angeles, California, well, suburbs of LA, California, but most of my adult life has been here in Chicago. So I call Chicago home. And yeah, that's a little bit about me in a nutshell.
Okay. All right. So I want to dive into beautifully blemished. That can be a tongue twister if you say it like 5 times.
That's slow it down.
But I want to talk about what inspired you to write this children's book. So if you all haven't purchased it, you can go get it on Amazon and probably all other um,
online bookstores.
Online bookstores. Thank you so much. So tell us, what was the inspiration behind the Beautifully Blemished?
Yeah, so if again, I have a facial birthmark right here, under and around my right eye. And growing up with this birthmark and being visibly different in this way, obviously brought a lot of emotions, brought a lot of questions, brought a lot of feelings of, liking it, not wanting it, feeling just attention on me in ways that I didn't. I'm already an introvert by nature, so just the questions and the teasing, um, it it took a little bit of its toll, right? And so as I got older and grew to accept, and then acceptance grew to appreciation, and appreciation grew into love, different in this way. I knew that there were little boys and girls who felt like I did growing up, and so I knew I've always wanted to write a children's book. And when it came to, I've always wanted to, but again, I told you I have 4 kids, right? Homeschool is been real busy. So when a point came, I got a little bit old, desire to like, let me put some time back into this children's book thing. It was just like a download, and it came. And once I sent it to my husband, he was like, wow, like this is it. I'm like, yeah, I think this is something special, And so I wanted to create something that celebrated, empowered little boys and girls who felt like I did growing up. But then also even a step further, that helped to kind of spread awareness, right? And help to educate people who don't know what different birthmarks and scars and skin conditions are called. And so
Yeah.
kind of 2, 3, and so that was the inspiration behind it. It's obviously personal to me, because I know the feelings and the emotions that go along with growing up, securities and things around visible differences. And so that's probably the main string and pull which initiated the desire to make the book.
So interestingly enough, as you were speaking, I remembered that I have a skin blemish. You see it?
No.
Yes. Come on. You see it?
Oh, yes, 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 yes.
I have a skin blemish. And literally, I recall being first grade, second grade, and then even moving into 8th grade when Michael Jackson was really popular during that time. They were like, "Do you have that Michael Jackson disease? Do you have vital? Is it how do you say it?
Vitiligo.
Vitiligo." And I was like, "I don't know. I think this is my birthmark." And people used to make fun of me, and all of this just flooded my brain just now, like thinking about it,
Right.
because you kind of forget about it a little bit as it grows on you. Like, I may have a skin difference, but I don't remember.
Right.
And so it is a very sensitive thing. And I don't want to say kids are cruel, but
They can be.
sometimes the underdevelopment of being sensitive can make children cruel. And so my little birthmark, I remember kids being cruel to me. I
Mhm.
remember that. So that skin difference. So anyway, stirring up the emotions of it, and and I'm thinking about several things just within my family, and just differences of skin and body features, or whatever the case may be, or blemishes that pop up like moles and different things like that, having those insecurities. But as you become an adult, do you feel like you just kind of like shy away from it, or is it always in your face? Like, I can't say it's always in your face, it's always on your face, but I'm saying, is it always a memory that when you get ready to go out, or when you get ready to present or teach or
Yes.
whatever, is that a memory
Yes.
for you?
Yes. I can't speak for everybody, but for the many that I've now come in contact with, and kind of, I've created this community. So now I'm in contact with more that have had similar experiences growing up. And yes, it stays with you, but because, you kind of learn to adapt, you kind of maybe close off, or not necessarily tap into those feelings or insecurities as often as you may have when you were younger. But they're definitely still there, and there may be a trigger the response, or a certain comment, or you wear certain things or you shy away from wearing certain things because it may show it off more. So for me, again, this is all recent, even in my development and growth. I would still, if I'm going somewhere that's like something dressed up or accompanying my husband somewhere, absolutely have concealer on. And I'm not a full face makeup kind of person anyway, but I would definitely have concealer on to dark. And that's because one, it became a security blanket ever since I was probably a teenager and my mom allowed me to wear makeup. I would not leave the house because it allowed you to blend in a little bit more. It stops the questions as much. People didn't, gawk or stare or point or assume
or look at Tori.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Or assume that I was being abused, right? Because he's had many a side eye. Okay,
Really,
many.
really.
They used to walk around with a baby picture of me in his wallet because he was like, just in case I need to prove, like, no, this has been on her face and he would have a picture of me in his wallet just to show that because people would think that all the time. So to answer your question, I absolutely think that it stays with you. It may change and kind of evolve as you get older, but I think there are a lot of if you haven't done the work or the healing or pushed yourself to accept it absolutely itself even in adulthood.
Yeah, and it can be damaging. So I wanted to read a little bit from your book. You said, growing up, I was extremely self-conscious about my birthmark. I was teased and grew very tired of people asking, how did you get that shiner? I didn't like it. My birthmark or the endless question. I didn't like it. My birthmark or the endless questions. It definitely had a negative impact on the way I felt about my appearance. Thankfully, I knew the love of the Heavenly Father and was still able to grow up with a strong sense of self. No matter the skin condition, disfiguration, or scar, it is so important to know that we were each handcrafted by God, who's only capable of creating timeless and indescribable work of art. Please never forget that your uniqueness is what makes you rare and beautiful beyond measure. Be bold and walk tall. And the reason I wanted to read that is because I think about kids and I think about parents, and everybody does not have the privilege of a safe parenting environment, right? We know children are in foster care. We know there's a lot of dynamics. But would you say having a safe place, even in having your parents or having even the kids, having them be in a safe place and a safe community, quote unquote, by being homeschooled, and do you think that saves a lot of heartache and bullying and um, basically people talking about them if they are in a certain community that feels safe? You know what I mean? Like the homeschool community. I'm just curious about that.
Yeah. I absolutely think it helps because similar to you've chosen to homeschool is because we want to lay the foundation, right, for our kids before we send them out into the world and the world starts telling them, tries to start telling them, and we wanted to be able to lay the foundation so they know exactly who they are before the world starts trying to tell them otherwise. And so I think it's similar, right? Once you lay the foundation, and if you have a safe space, and if you have people around you who are encouraging you and are speaking life and are telling you how you are fearfully and wonderfully made, how God created you are, the way that you are is exactly how you should be, and that should be celebrated, and you should be all of those things. It's just like anything else. Once you feed that narrative and help to shift and shape the way a little boy or girl sees themselves, I think that is priceless, because when they go out the world, not that they're going to be completely, immune or dissolved from any name calling or having their feelings.
Yeah.
We're not talking about that. That's still going to happen, right?
Right.
But I think they're better prepared to handle it, because once they have a better understanding of like who I am and whose I am, it's like, yeah, but come on now, like I know my identity, and so I think that that's what's important. So to your point, having a safe space, being poured into and fed in that way for kids, I think is huge.
Oh, that's so powerful. And I'm glad to say that. Now, let me just say something about homeschool children. Okay. I didn't have the grace, so that's okay. But they are some spicy little jokers. Okay. Let me tell you, they have a lot of forthright in their voice. Okay. They're going to tell you what they think. And I think in some ways it's good because it's built a confidence level. But sometimes I'll be like, look, I'm Auntie Nisha. Watch yourself. Okay. But anyway, watch yourself now. You're a little too confident. But I wanted to talk about the responsibility that you've had Do you feel like, and it's almost, it's a calling, to say, hey, it's a movement, it's a gift to share that responsibility with the world. How has the weight of that thing made you feel, and has it boosted you to say, I need to write more books, I need to, start a podcast, I need to, you might have one, I don't know. But the bottom line is, what has it inspired you to do in terms of the responses that you've been getting from Beautifully Blemished?
Man, that's a great question. And I think, as I mentioned at the start, it's been really surprising because you don't realize how many people are being touched by what you're putting out, right? And the been overwhelmingly positive, and people that I've heard from, parents that talk about how their kids, light up and feel seen and validated and valued, and even adults that flip through. This is a children's book, okay? It's a children's book, 36 pages, and there have been adults that have said that they've gotten emotional reading through it
Yeah.
and feel like it healed their child, their inner child, and they could tap into feeling the feelings of being a little boy or girl at school. And like, man, this book growing up, like, this would have made a huge difference. So just being able to hear that, it's been confirmation, like, okay, God, you gave this to me for a reason. And just the different doors that have opened up, I would say the weight or the responsibility that you're referring to, humbling hugely.
Okay.
And then also
Okay.
it's been very healing and exciting. So it's been a mix. Like, it's humbling because I'm just like blown away when I hear people's response to it. It's been therapeutic and healing for me as I continue to go through the journey and to use this thing that oftentimes maybe want to hide and feel shameful, but now being able to use it, it's helped to continue to build my own confidence up, right? So now it inspires me and motivates me to want to go out more and not cover it up, because people need to see it more on the everyday, right? People need to see, even though I still
Yeah.
get questions, or people will say behind my back, like, is Leanne safe at home? Like, I've heard stories of people asking other people, am I okay? But people need to see it more. So it's encouraged me and motivated me to kind of be that figure to
Advocate and figure. Yeah.
exactly, to advocate and to kind of be the person that I would want as a little girl to have seen. And so yeah, it's been a mix of emotion, but it's been overwhelmingly great.
Yeah, that's so good. I was thinking about how, my brain immediately shifts to the marketing piece, that every library, every school, everyone needs to have this book. You know what I mean? And I think that sometimes, even if you don't have a Beautiful Blemish, I think that purchasing a book for the local schools, and purchasing a book for the local libraries, and purchasing a book for local families, even reading the book, I did get a little emotional, and I had forgot about my Beautiful Blemish, but I literally got emotional because I do know that sometimes the world is cruel, and they're not safe places all the time. So I'm really grateful that you took the opportunity to hear from God and to write that, and then also that people can experience the love of God. That part
Mhm.
right there makes all the difference. The love of God, to be able to say, hey, I know I may have a unique blemish, or I may have a unique ability, but
Mhm.
it doesn't take away from the beauty of what God has given me. And that's a hard thing. That's a hard, because I know many people that go get cosmetic surgery to be able to shift and change, the way their skin is, or
And
and that's a tough thing.
mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think the important part too is like the inside work, right? Like, we're talking about the outward and shifting kind of the perspective on how we see beauty outwardly, but ultimately it starts inward, right? So I'm not anti-makeup. Like, I'm not anti-concealer or covering, or people, everybody has their own journey, their own story, and why they do what they do, and there's no knock to anybody who's chosen to do something. But I think it's what's at the root of that. Like, what's at the root of why I can't leave the house without makeup? What's at the root of me wanting to go get plastic surgery? What's at the, like, let's deal with that, as opposed to whether it or not, okay, whatever. But let's deal with the why behind that, And so I think that that's the part that I want to illuminate, is like, to do the work, right? So regardless of how, the outward world sees you, or you see you, it's important to know. And I think those are like good barometers and triggers to know, like, ask yourself, why do I do that? Why am I feeling this way? Why do I only feel confident when I have a
Yeah.
full face of makeup? Why do I only wear long sleeves and just stuff like that? And so to your point, I feel like it's the inward, right, beauty that will then show outward that I think is most important.
Yeah, wow. That's really great. Listen, here's a question for you.
Mhm.
Did you pray for your babies not to have a beautiful blemish?
Wow.
Has anybody ever asked you that?
Asked that before. And no, I did not.
What a
That
beautiful thing, right? What a
yeah,
beautiful thing.
I've never been asked that before. And no, I didn't. And I think because I'm trying to think at the point when I had kids, and probably because too, like Tori, my husband, funny story is as I kind of evolved and have grown to realize like I could have gotten this lasered and there's surgeries or procedures, I should say laser treatments that can lighten or remove certain types of birthmarks. So when I was in high school, I got a couple laser treatments. They were super expensive. I didn't get many because we couldn't afford them, but I got a couple. And I was like, when I get older, when I could have my own money and afford it myself, I'm gonna get it removed, right? So as I got older, and I think Tori and I were maybe dating or married at this point, but I was like, babe, I think I want to look into getting my birthmark removed. And he was like, why? And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I just always said I would do it once I got older. And he's just like, but that would be weird. That would be strange to see your face and to not have it on there. And I was just like, that would be kind of weird,
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
one moment. There's a couple of them that stands out that helps me to know, even if I had the opportunity, because I have, I don't want to get it removed now at this point. Like it's something I've had a part of me all of these years, and it's something that I would be kind of sad if it was gone.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I don't know. I think as time has gone on, I didn't necessarily look at it as a negative thing. I kind of like it's a part of me. And again, now it's grown into like a love and appreciation for it. But it wasn't so much so that I was praying like, Lord, please let my kids have a marking like this. No, that's such a good question though. But funny
Well,
enough, Caleb,
I,
my second born, has one on his stomach, a very
oh,
large,
yeah.
yep, on his stomach. He does. But yep, that's it.
Yeah, my mom has straight hair, so she prayed. She would probably die if she knew, but she's gonna see it. But she prayed that we would have not. She would pray that we would not have straight hair.
Oh,
She prayed that we would not have straight hair, literally. And none
really?
of us really have straight hair. I think each one got a little different.
Yeah,
Um,
look,
Rachel being
you
the
didn't
last
like right
person, of
here?
course.
Like
Well, during that time, she was ridiculed because she wanted an afro. She couldn't get an afro. She
oh.
wanted she was for salvation, part of the Black Panthers.
Uh-huh,
And
uh-huh.
she really wanted everything. And she's a history major, so she wanted everything to be that
Yeah.
way. And so the bottom line is that, and I think she did, but she told us that, and I was like, wow. So
Wow.
that was rude of her. But anyway, but that's what made me think of that. It's like sometimes we pray for.
Yeah.
Now I will say that we can pray for those unseen blemishes that we pray that our children don't have, because so many are even suffering with blemishes that are not seen.
Come
And
on.
so I know that, God is using you not only for the external blemish, but also for the internal blemish to bring healing. And so I want you to expound a little bit like that in terms of like when you're ministering or when you talk to these parents or when, someone inboxes you or reaches out to you via your website, www.leannestuckey.com. You all go to her website, speaking engagements, open doors, book purchases, whatever. Leanne is here. But what ways have you really seen the Holy Spirit move in regards to this being not just an external ministry, but it really brings healing and provides that as well?
You know what? It's so funny because I haven't even mentioned to many people that I feel like I don't have all of the details, but exactly what you just said, I feel like the Lord had given me even when I was preparing and writing this book. Like I didn't know when Beautifully Blemished, right? The name, because it's also an LLC and the community. Um, it was, I didn't know exactly what, but I knew it was going to be more than just a children's book because we're all beautifully blemished, to your point. And so I knew that there was such a deeper message, there was such a deeper call. Again, even still, it hasn't been fully I think, unveiled and revealed, because I feel like the Lord is still showing in pieces. But I absolutely feel that. And I'm kind of like, part of me kind of shy in the way, like, Lord, I don't, are you going to really have me going and speaking? And because that's not my nature. Like, I'm kind of, like, are you sure? But I definitely feel that push. And he has shown me that it's definitely something that's above and beyond the children level for
Yeah.
everybody to do the hard work, and the scars and the blemishes and the nicks, the scratches, and all the things that we have over the years. That there's beauty in that. All of the scars and the blemishes that we have, there's beauty, right? I think of Beauty for Ashes. Like, I just feel like there's so much in that he wants to do. So I can't speak too much in detail because I'm still waiting on him to be like,
Yeah, I hear it. I hear the journals. Hear the devotionals. I
yeah,
hear the little kids' journals and little kids' diaries. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? That's accompanying. And I even see the big book for us. Oh, Beauty for Ashes, Beautifully Blemished. I mean,
yeah,
that's exciting to me. I get an adrenaline rush when I start hearing. I'm like, whoo, I'm excited to see it happen.
yeah.
I want to say thank you for sharing your story. If you all want to look into talking to Leanne and really just receiving some counsel, I'm even speak to counsel, not in terms of a clinical therapist, but just wise counsel as a parent, wise counsel as an adult, about your feelings, about your emotions, and what's to come. And stay in touch. www.leannestuckey.com. Now, do you have a community or a page where people can go? Where can they go?
Yes. So we're most active on Instagram and Facebook. The handle is Beautifully Blemished 365. And so most active, again, on Instagram. And it's been amazing. Like, the growth, the organic growth, and the connections that are taking place on there have inspired and encouraged me. So it's a beautiful thing that I'm honored to be a part of. Yes.
That's so wonderful. Thank you for sharing today.
Thank you for
This has
having
been
me.
good. I'm
It's had-
excited.
it's
You
had-
all go check out Leanne, www.leannestuckey.com. Go to Amazon, purchase your book, Beautifully Blemished. It will bless you, whether you are a child or an adult. It will bless you. All right, you guys, we'll be back the whole month of September for Recovery Awareness Month. For the month of September, Recovery Awareness Month, we're going to have some amazing stories. And in a way, this is kind of recovery too. So maybe we're kicking it off. Thank you, Leanne, for kicking it off.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Love everybody. And we will talk to you guys soon. Have a great day.
Bye.